to address those issues precisely because Morocco has been going on through a very quiet transformation, a very interesting cooptation. It's not very much in the news because it wasn't violent, but it is a process. Youssef Amrani, please.
Well, thank you very much.
Let me, first of all, thank you for inviting me to this panel. I think today we have a specific context in the region. The Arab Spring has created new expectations. Arab Spring has brought changes to the region. And we need to be at the level of these expectations. I think this is one of the major issues we are facing today in the Arab world. I will speak maybe basing my in the region, in the North Africa region. I will leave the other colleagues speak about other issues in the region on the Arab Spring. But let me say at the beginning that today we have an Arab world in construction, still in construction, because democracy is not something that's easy. Democracy could not be imposed. Democracy is a culture, and democracy needs time, and needs also tools and institutions. Like you were saying before, the experience of the Central European countries. You had the European Union supporting you. You had tools, financial tools to access, not only to markets, but also to tools on the neighborhood policy, and we can talk about it if you want to do so. But you had a long experience in building up democracy. It's not something that you can invent from one day to another. Let me make two comments, brief comments. One, although all the Arab countries face the same challenges, the Arab Spring has highlighted, I think, a very important point. There is, like they say in America, there is no one size fits all. Every country must go according to its priorities, to its substrates, to its rhythm, to its path, and to the composition of its population. It's important. However, we must always have in mind today that in the Arab world, two cardinal parameters are essential. The respect, and Musa was yesterday insisting on it, the respect of the independence of the country, their national unity, and their territorial integrity. Otherwise, we will ruin the whole thing. This is something, I think, something that is essential. Two, second point is, I think that the desired changes we all want will be made and will take place differently from one country to another. Because the Arab world is not homogeneous. We have some dimension. Today we have the Islamic dimension in our countries. We have the Amazigh dimension and the Kurd dimension in our... So this is, I think, every country must... Let me now, a third point maybe. I think it is our own responsibility as Arabs to build up our future. But also, I have to note that today, the international community, and this issue was not tackled during these 2 days, failed to bring the solutions to the issues that we are facing today. I'm talking especially about the Middle East peace process. I'm talking also about Syria. We were in the Security Council, myself, for the last 2 years, and the Security Council was divided and could not bring any input or any added value to the resolution of conflict in Syria. There's something I think we must have in mind. My fourth comment also, I think it's before tackling the issue, the example of Morocco, is the process of regional integration. And we have to make our own homework as Arabs. We have failed to build up in our region coherent regional organizations that can face these challenges. One country itself cannot face all these challenges alone. If we work together, whether in the Maghreb Arab, the 5 countries, Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Mauritania, we could have faced now today. There's a big security threat in the Maghreb. And one country alone cannot face the challenges. Al-Qaeda today is still strong in the Maghreb. The situation, I will talk about it very briefly, in Libya today is very dangerous, is of great concern, not only to the Maghreb Arab countries, but to the Sahel countries and to the European Union. Because at the end of the day, Libya, the Maghreb, are the door to Europe. And this morning, Musa was telling me we should maybe, why not tackle the issue of the Barcelona process and the regional approach towards the region. I think this is also one point that we must address. Even the Barcelona process, we're now not able to move forward in the reform changes. So today, I think we are facing a difficult context in the region, with the Europe in crisis, Europe not giving priority to the Mediterranean. Europe is coming today with a new Commission, with a new European Parliament, where issues of democracy are essential, are important. And I think for us, as far as Morocco is concerned, this Arab Spring constitutes an opportunity for all of us to assess and to maybe to draw new perspectives for our people. I would like also, to give from the Moroccan perspective an example, because Morocco is not a country of the Arab Spring, because we have started the reform process since a long time ago. And you were, Shlomo, talking about legitimacy, and I think this is, and the identity of the countries, and the identity is important. So today, I think I would like to tell you who we are and where we want to go. I think we must have a clear vision where you want to go and what you want to achieve. Of course, this gathering offers us the opportunity to exchange with no complex, no taboo, concerning our shared challenges. I think we have some shared challenges. And the challenges are like how to stimulate growth. It's important. You cannot only talk about democracy, political reforms, without speaking about the economy. Because at the end of the day, what is important is how much job you create to meet the expectation of the young generation, and women also. And how to respond to social inequalities, how to face the competitivity. These are the issues we should today tackle, because this is, at the end of the day, what is important and what stimulates growth and what creates expectation for the young generation. So we have shared challenges, but other challenges which are specific to each country. Democracy, it's a learning process. I think that's why we're here, to learn from each other, to learn our success, but also our failures. I think we have some failures to have to do. And finally, I would like to speak about Morocco, maybe briefly. I think maybe it is, we don't want to be a model in the region. We have our own experience. And I think a number of key actors make our democratic path unique and successful. First, I think it's a long-standing democratic commitment, because our democratic reform process is not something new that we have just started. It's a long process with some mistakes, of course, because we learn from our mistakes, with some successful stories, but also with some failures. But we always corrected. We stopped and we correct our failures, and try always to look forward and move forward. So it was built slowly and surely, even the independence of our country. The lesson we learned from this experience is that we never were forced into anything. And we didn't wait for the Arab Spring to think that change is a positive thing. We didn't fear change. And as you said, Shlomo, our story is of peaceful and sustained evolution rather than a revolution. And this is, I think, is thanks to the leadership and the work of the king. So we have the tools today. I think we'll be able to, and we need for democracy tools, new constitution, new instruments of good governance, fight against corruption, transparency. We have gone into this because in order to build up something coherent, you say coherent, you need to have the necessary tools like you have here in Europe or elsewhere. Of course, this new constitution with all the shared values, gender equality, democracy, respect of human rights, and well, all the democratic literature is there, but it was possible because we had an approach, a proactive approach based on participation, ownership. I think these are two key words. You need the political parties, you need the trade unions, you need the instruments in order to build up democracy, something coherent. Like today, the situation in Libya, let me give this example. Gaddafi left and left the country with no institution, with no constitution, with no political parties. How could you implement democracy in a kind of environment? It's chaotic. That's why Libya needs a lot of support from our partners, needs lots of work, because you cannot invent. Today we have two parliaments, two governments in Libya, and it's something very preoccupying. So our reform process, it's a purely homegrown reform process. That's why I said every country must have its own. And this was possible because we had a clear vision for the future. The driving force is this vision, and also, I think, the approach. We had to walk on our two legs in order not to fall. The political development, democracy is one, and the second is the economic development. Otherwise, this reform process should go hand in hand in order to be able to build up something that might be coherent. So this is and this, of course, all this approach reflects our needs and also our unique identity. Yes, we need yesterday, I think in the panel yesterday, we were talking about the identity, and I think this is essential. We have in Morocco, we are a nation with a strong identity. And this is when you have a strong identity, it gives you courage and confidence to engage in change and reform. And because, of course, tolerance, openness, moderation are in our nation's DNA. This is something, we always have coexistence between religion, to respect the others, and to listen to the others, like we're doing here. This is the way how you can. We are different, yes, we are different, because this vision, the approach, and the long-standing nature of our efforts are the building block of this Moroccan democratic experience. It is, if you can say, third way, pacific, evolutionary, that has allowed us to embrace change without destabilizing the country, without our stability. And I think stability also, I think I will leave the other colleagues talk about stability, that today is something important in the Arab world and in the Muslim world. Because without stability, without security, you could not face the other challenges we are facing today. And it also demonstrates that Islam is compatible with democracy, that Islam is compatible with modernity, with human rights. What is happening today is deformation, the extremism and the radicalism today we are witnessing. We need all of us to make the same fight against the radicalism and the Islamists. This is something that we should address it through a global approach. To approach, of course, political development, democracy, economic development, but also one third dimension, which is essential, and it is for us to do it, the Muslim country, how to promote the values of the real Islam in our region through the media, because Islam has nothing to do with this barbarous things would happen in the world. We need to have the tools, we need to have the political will in order to engage on a real debate with our civil society, with our political parties. Because at the end of the day, the extremism, the radicalism is something ecological. It's like a plant. When you have a focus of instability, then the plant spreads and grows. And it is something that we have to fight against to remove all the ingredients of extremism, of radicalism. And I think this is what we are trying to do in Morocco, working with some African countries on how to promote the values of the real Islam, which is tolerant, which is... You see, we have countries like Indonesia and Malaysia. They are Muslim countries, but they were able to build up some... We didn't speak about the Asian example, but I think the right direction without... As I told you, I will speak about my experience, because my country, which is moving, I hope, in the good direction, but we believe that we are moving in the good direction to cook something, you know, which is in conformity with our aspirations. Now, maybe as I'm here in Europe, I would like to conclude with a final comment about the neighborhood policy. I know we will have another panel to speak about neighborhood policy, but today I think Europe should give the priority to the Mediterranean and to the South region. With the reshaping the neighborhood policy, with new instruments, because you here in Central Europe, you were able to build up democracy, you will build up to access the European market, because you had perspective to join the European Union. It was a driving force which helped you to transpose the acquis communautaire, to integrate the networks, European networks, and this is why the economic dimension is essential. I know that Fayyad was trying to implement more or less the same policy when he was in charge of the government of the National Palestinian Authority, through economic projects, how to create expectation for the people of the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad that we have